Josh Hill ahead of Bellator 272 on Friday. First of all, it is Happy Fight Week, so I hope you're feeling okay.
Thank
I know
you.
the weight cut is never fun, but you
No.
seem to be holding up well.
Yeah, I'm good. My weight's good. Weight cut's never an issue for me. I mean, it's not fun, but
Yeah.
whatever.
So you are an owner and coach of your own gym.
I am,
Vision
yeah.
Plus MMA. Tell me a little bit about the gym and how it's been doing.
It struggled quite a bit during the pandemic, like a lot of gyms. I was luckily, I have a landlord that's a friend of ours, so he was very good with us. But we're kind of back on the upswing now, and things are going well, so it's good.
So I noticed on Instagram you did something called the Gents Top 10.
Oh
You
yeah.
seem to be a bit of a movie buff.
Yeah, yeah.
And what about movies do you love so much? I mean, I thought it was such an interesting thing to do on social media.
That was at the start of this pandemic, and when we were just bored and everybody's sitting around, you know what I mean? Looking back at it now, I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, I've been a huge movie buff my whole life, and it was just, for some reason I'm like a geek and I like doing rankings and lists and stuff like that. So that was just something I thought we would do, and I was actually, I think I did it when I was in quarantine for the fight, one of the fights anyway. I just kind of started it, and I don't know, just kept going with it for a while until it kind of got annoying and stopped doing it.
Well, luckily we're no longer in quarantine. We're back
Right.
to training. We're back in full motion. Your last fight was in May, correct?
Right, that's correct.
And so what have you been doing since May to improve upon your game for Friday night?
One of the biggest thing was rehab and injuries. One injury in particular, I had a back injury that's been lingering for like a year. Even going into the last fight, it wasn't 100%. It just sucked, and it was hard to train, hard to do anything in regular day life. So that feels way better. Rehabbed it, I feel like 100% there. So that's been one of my main things, but also just training in general. Went back out to Team Alpha Male for this camp, and every time I go out there, I always get better. So just things like that.
Yeah. So that was going to be my next question too. Being an owner of a gym,
Mm-hmm.
is it kind of hard to find training partners to work with, or do you have a tight knit community that you can always rely on?
Through it with my gym, and then there's probably like 4 or 5 other gyms that I go to and train with, all the different people there. So I have a lot of different training partners all over the place. The one good thing about going Alpha Male is everybody's in under one roof, and it's all there, right? So it's not driving to a million places. So that is one benefit of going out there. It's all like everybody's there, wrestlers, grapplers, striking, everything. And yeah, I think that's beneficial for me.
So the one thing, last question, the one thing in MMA is, to have standout performances and to have the personality and the charisma and that sort of thing.
Right.
What do you think is your biggest trait that helps you stand out?
I think more so my cerebral approach to fighting. I'm not like I mean, you might see me kind of get lulled into something once in a while, but overall, I'm a very methodical fighter, very tactical, and you can kind of see me thinking about doing things out there rather than just kind of, throwing shit at the wall, see what sticks type thing, you know what I mean? So I would say that I'm very methodical, and, I put the fight at my pace and how I want to do it.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Speaking of movies, just curious to know, what's so far your favorite movie of the year?
Of this year?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
If you have one. I know this isn't the best year for movies, much like last year, but do you have one?
Shit, I can't even think of like a good movie that I've seen in a while. It's been a bit, man. I don't know, just off the top of my head, I saw that Ghostbusters recently, and I thought they did a pretty good job. Overall, it wasn't like my favorite, but I think it was pretty good.
So much better than the one that came out 2 years
Oh, don't even speak about that one.
For this fight, how did you prepare for it? Is it the same old camp? Did you do anything new, different?
Pretty much the same type of stuff. Like I said, I did my first half with all my guys and my team out back home in Canada, and then I went out to Alpha Male. The main reason I went out there, actually, well, not the main reason, but one was the mandates that were going to be happening and affecting me to getting in the country without vaccine and stuff like that, with all that crazy nonsense. So I went before the mandate was set into the States, so I was already here. So then I could just fly from California to here, so I didn't have to worry about that. But overall, the training, just more of the same type of stuff.
I think that Canada has some of the strictest.
Canada sucks, man. yeah. I'm not pleased the way that they're kind of handling things right now. Trudeau, I'm not a fan of, and yeah, I hope things change very quickly.
So is that maybe why you are staying in the United States until things clear over there, or is this you think you're gonna make the United States your permanent training and forever place?
Probably not. I mean, I have, like I said, my family, the gym, everything back home. I would not be against moving into the States if it ever became a possibility where, my wife got a job out in the States or something like that. I would be on board for it for sure, but we'll see what happens.
So I also want to know your thoughts on Jared Scoggins. What do you think of him as a fighter? Have you watched any tapes of his? If you do that, yeah, just give us your impression.
I watched a little bit. I don't like to look at too much because I don't want to get too, especially that a lot of stuff I saw was older, so I don't want to, things change so quickly. He's good. He looks like pretty well-rounded, more of like a traditional like karate, taekwondo style base where he's very like jumpy in and out. So I looked at that and tried to emulate some of that kind of stuff in training. But overall, to be honest, I just think I would be better everywhere in this fight. But he's a tough guy for sure.
He also has a very unique case where 3 of his fights did not work out.
Right. Yeah.
And now
I saw that.
He's his first fight against you in Bellator. Do you think you expect to see any sort of, I guess, I'll not say ring rust, but cage rust, or do you think he's going to come in there 100%, a different type of fighter than somebody who's continuously fighting like you are?
Well, he's probably nervous before he steps in the cage. All these fights falling through like fight week and whatnot, so I could imagine there's a little anxiety there. But yeah, I mean, I don't really care, but I just expect the best him. So that's kind of what I'm really preparing for. I'm sure he's probably going to want to make a statement, being his first fight with the promotion. But yeah, I think unluck of the draw, he drew me for that. So.
Last question. You probably been asked this before, but I don't know from my own knowledge. How did you get the nickname Gentleman?
It's just not just the hat. You know what I mean? It's my great uncle was actually a professional wrestler in the WWE long time ago. Yeah, and he was part of the Valiant Brothers, and he was Gentleman Jerry Valiant.
Oh, Johnny.
Johnny was one of them. Yeah, he was Jerry. Yeah, so it was the brother. Yeah, his brother, his stage brother. Yeah, but that's where we kind of got it. My dad or my uncle, I can't remember which one, said you should go as Gentleman Josh Hill, and I kind of just stuck.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say that's a very pro wrestling type.
Yeah, man. So I got pro wrestling in my lineage.
Do you ever plan to? Is that something you ever?
I've done one match actually. I did. Yeah, I got a buddy of mine that was known forever. He's a pro wrestler, and we ended up. I came to a show just as like a fan, and he like pulled me in and we did some shit. And then and he's like, "Do you want to do a match?" And I'm like, "Yeah, fuck, sure." So it was fun. I got to like hit him over the head with a keyboard, and actually the finish was supposed to just be a choke, and he was gonna tap, but then as I had the choke on, he went to sleep for real. So I was like, "Oh my god, okay, guess we're done." Right? So yeah, he's snoring, right? But yeah.
He forgot the tap part.
He forgot the tap part. It made it look better. You know what I mean? He sold it. Yeah, he sold it.
Good. All right, Josh. Well, welcome to Fight Week. Obviously, you're set. Tomorrow's the weigh-ins. One thing, you're coming in from Canada. Like, how do you think that you're out here to put Canada on the map, or is your journey different?
No, my journey's different, man. I'm out here. For me, my gyms, my family, my teams, and the people that support me. If I'm Canadian, great, but I don't really look at it as that. That's just kind of, I don't know, wherever you're from, it shouldn't really matter. It should just be the person. You know what I mean?
Listen, obviously you're fighting on the card where the bantamweight championship is being defended, right? So you obviously will be watching that fight.
Right.
Personal opinions or thoughts on how that fight do you think transpires?
Yeah, that's a tough one to call. Sergio surprised me in the last one. I mean, I know he's good, but I picked Archuleta to win in that fight, and he really surprised me. That being said, it's kind of hard to go against Horiguchi. Just been there so many times and very good everywhere. If I had to pick, I mean, it's a toss-up, but I'd probably lean towards Horiguchi.
Because every promotion has their Shark Tank, and your Shark Tank is the bantamweight division. So, that being said, everybody's been talking about a Grand Prix, and obviously,
right.
Bantamweight Grand Prix. Where do you think, if you can come out with a win, do you think you're well-suited to be in that Grand Prix?
I 100%, I think so, yeah. I hope they do a Grand Prix. That would be great. I don't know if they'll do an 8 or 16 men, depending. They could do a 16 with the bantamweights. But yeah, that'd be cool. I've never done that in my whole career. I know I've had 25 fights and I've never done that. So that would be something I'd love to do.
And one last question. Since you're a movie buff, if there's one go-to movie that you say like will always keep you going back to the cinemas, what is that one movie you can recommend?
I'll give you 3.
Okay.
Legends of the Fall.
Okay.
It's like a 90s classic. Heat. which is another best crime movie ever, and then a cheesy one, but my personal favorite's Sidekicks. It's almost like a knockoff of like Karate Kid,
Yeah.
but I like it better, and it's been my go-to since a kid, man. Yeah, yeah,
All right, thank you so much.
yeah. No problem.